Lonnie Mimms has spent nearly 50 years amassing computers of nearly every kind. A fraction of his collection of age-old computers, electronic devices, and vast wonders of the tech world take up 35,000 square feet in the Computer Museum of America in North Fulton.
Within the 34,000 feet of displays, it's definitely less than 1% of the whole collection. We don't want to just put everything out all at one time. We want to be able to tell the story behind things and continually update and continually refresh some of the exhibits.
Right. One of his famous quotes that he likes to say is, without the stories and the people behind these items, they're really like boat anchors. Who cares? It really is the people and the story and what made it.
And most of them are actually
important.
very heavy.
Yes.
Lonnie and his wife Karin created the museum in a former Burlington coat factory space in Roswell.
Okay, when you come into a space that we call the Silicon Gallery, which is a display of real posters from movies that have some relationship to technology. Our entrance is actually is the gift shop. We have a very long timeline of technology-related items. Part of it is focused on the history of microcomputers.
But this took 2 years. It started out very simple and we were just gonna have a timeline of artifacts, and then it grew and took on a life of its own, and people will spend so much time just standing here, and we're actually in the process right now of making it into a book.
And there's just too many sections really to describe everything, but we have a very large supercomputer collection. It's probably the largest in the world. There's over 50 supercomputers on display. We also have a fairly good-sized space exhibit with a 70% model of the lunar landing module, and a lot of other technology items in that space as well.
Lonnie started collecting computers in the mid-1970s and says he has accumulated more than 300,000 items.
Well, I was hooked on computers after I took a summer class at Fernbank Science Center, and grew up in DeKalb County, and Fernbank is part of the DeKalb County school system. And this is way before the Natural History Museum. And I would go there and take just all kinds of classes in the summer. And one of them was on computer programming. Well, they were very expensive when computers first came out. But long story short, the first computer I had was called a Sol 20 and was created in '76. And there were a lot of computers. Everybody was in the computer business. It was like watching virtual reality now or MP3 players in the beginning. Everybody was in the business. They knew that it was going to be something amazing, but they didn't know for what necessarily, and they didn't want to miss out. So when the machines were being tossed out, and there was no real recycling back then, when they were being thrown out, I would save everything I could find.
Right, so when a family member was going to dispose of their computer or their technology, Lonnie would put up his hand and be like, no, give that to me, I'll keep it. So just eventually over time, he ended up with this collection, and then he found out that there are a lot of other people out there like him that also have collections, but maybe they were getting up in age or didn't know exactly what to do with their collection, or they thought one day they would own a museum, but realized that wasn't possible. But then by Lonnie either purchasing that collection, or now we're getting lots of donations, their vision and their dream is also coming true, because it's almost like they've handed the baton over to Lonnie, and now he's making that happen.
Yeah, there's companies that I didn't even know existed, IBM and Osborne and so on, but, Commodore, but there are companies here that I didn't know exist. Here's Seoul Terminal. I didn't know they were even making computers.
Karin said their ability to highlight stories of technology at the museum increases the appeal to non-techies. She says that Lonnie's love for computers is infectious.
Fernbank was your inspiration. It was a museum that got him started into computing. This summer, we are going to have close to 25 camps, which we're so excited about. The first year we were open, which was right before COVID, or we opened right before COVID. We had 1 or 2 camps the first year. Last year we had around 12, and this year we're going to have close to 25. So that's a big jump for a very small museum, and we're trying to get the word out there so that we can be a part of this collection, but we're not just a small Roswell museum. This really is going to be an international destination.